I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jesse.
We're Cannabis School. Having cannabis-infused conversations
With everyday people,
cannabis companies,
celebrities,
and your mom.
welcome to the Sesh. What is it about us today that feels like we need to get ours? Or at least the impression that we need to get ours before anybody gets theirs? Because it's kind of weird. It's like embedded. It's the quid pro quo world we live in. I'll do it if...
Yeah. Well, it's like, hey, will you do something? No, I don't want to. But why? Like, why is it that we're so unwilling to just serve or help? You know, it's a really weird ingrained, and maybe it's just because we're not taught from a young age of like, hey, you see this person, let's go help him. Hey, let's go help this person. Let's do this. Because it's not something that everyone's always doing. You know, it's not the normal to go out of your way to go help someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
To go, hey, you're in a shitty situation or this is going on here. I've got the means or the way or like, yeah, I could help you.
Totally.
You know, it's like, oh, but is it an inconvenience to me? Does it like, you know, does it rub me the wrong way? Does it do this? Does it do this? Does it do this? Like it has to, our act of service has to fit within a niche.
Well, it's a perceived idea of who we are. We want people to see us a certain ways. Like it makes it sound like we're egotistical assholes, but yeah, so what?
I think so.
Why not? I mean, just admit it. Like I like things a certain way. What's so wrong about saying that?
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Kind of like so recently with Chad over here and that, and it was like, okay, realizing I like things a certain way, and that's a certain level of sanity, and you know that entails in that, and that wasn't around. So,
well, it goes back to the law of reciprocity. If I give, I will get back, but I don't expect.
Yeah.
But when it's not reciprocated and it's constantly in that mode of the other person taking subconsciously or consciously, it doesn't matter either way. That's me to get upset about, not them to frustrate me. But that makes a lot more sense because then you're like, okay, cool. But you notice that this exchange was very one-sided, and I don't know, it kind of almost sounded like you didn't feel comfortable enough to like going, hey, can you fucking not be up at 3:00 in the morning taking a shower?
Well, I told him because that was the day that Emily freaked out, and she was like, either he goes or I go, or you know, and
like, rightfully so.
And I was like, fuck, yeah. And I went down and talked to him, and I was like, yeah, I can't have you doing this.
Yeah.
Like this is. But before that, there hadn't been a discussion because it was like, I slept through him coming in the night before, but Emily didn't. And
well, because it's a stranger in your home.
Yeah.
Like if I had a place to crash, say my wife kicked me out, and I mean, you'd be the first person I'd call. Hey, bro.
Oh yeah.
I just got kicked out. What's going on?
For sure.
But you know, I wouldn't even exist.
Not the same. Yeah.
I would be in a corner.
I'm not worried you're gonna go down a K-hole and start shouting and screaming or like.
But even then, like,
or maybe be standing out naked in the middle of my yard in the middle of the night because you're, again,
K-holing.
Yeah. Like I don't need the cops called on me.
Naked in the middle of the night, like, dude. All I think now is like, man, he's struggling. He is struggling,
100%.
And that's kind of like, you know, the theme today is, you know, just wanted to go a little bit into our lives, but we also wanted to kind of talk about like opening up for yourself and opening up for your tribe of who you're with all the time, because even though we are close to people, we're not close to people.
We don't let them in. We're close, but they're not. We don't let them in.
Yeah.
And our struggles, our fears, are like, you know, what's truly going on. So we connect, but we don't. We keep them at a distance. It's like, I want you in my life, but maybe at like arm's length, because if I let you in, that allows me to get hurt.
Well, it's just like this one podcast I watched called Diary of a CEO.
Okay.
Stephen Bartlett. But he had Simon Sinek on, right? The starts with Y guy.
Yeah.
But it was the very coolest thing about what he was talking about. And it was just connection and love. And he's like, you know, the time I've spent with Navy SEALs, he's like, you know, they have an extremely high rate of divorce in the teams.
I could see that.
because the teams come before her
Yeah.
and the kids. And it's hard. Some of the women have told their, spouses, like, hey, it's either me or the teams.
But to them, I feel like in that moment, it's like their team is how they stay alive.
But not only that, though, you got to think deeper. It's like our connection, right? Like, we're very close. We talk to
yeah.
each other literally almost every single day. I mean, if we're busy that day, we let it go, but then we think about it at the end of the day, like, oh, I didn't even talk to him.
Yeah, it's like most days we talk to each other.
But we talk to each other because it's something that Simon had hit on there. We've got people that are always wanting to be there when we're in our bad times. And you do have those people. But there's very smaller group of people that you want around in your good times. It's not braggadocious. It's not arrogant to go and call your friend and saying, something great happened to me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share it with you.
Well, it's to celebrate because they're going to be excited and happy for you and want to celebrate that too.
And you want to be able to give that happiness to others. So you start looking for that. Like I look out for my friends when they are in need. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I got a solution right away. And other times I don't. But that's my shit that I have to be this like, I have to take care of everybody.
Fixer and wanted to help everyone. And like, it's every time my friends are needing something, it's can I help? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you have that, right? You want to help people and you'll sacrifice yourself in many ways.
Oh, yeah.
But then slowly it starts to sabotage your relationship and you don't want to see them as much.
Yeah, it definitely can, depending on what that is and what that relationship looks like. And
oh, yeah. Real quick, I wanted to talk about this real fast because we're going to try it out here. This is from Claudius. The funny thing about this grinder is I got this for Brandon for his birthday. Was it a year ago?
A year ago, yeah.
A year ago, I got him this grinder, and then randomly, I guess we talked to him, but they sent us out a grinder and a
cool little
box.
Yeah. And a bunch of stuff. I was like, all right.
It's cool, but it is, it's one of my favorites, and you guys know that I love those little, like, what are they called? The Zip Fizz.
Those little tubes.
Still the best ones.
Yeah,
the ones you get at the cannabis
industry. So good.
Oh, yeah, forever.
Hands down better than any joint one I've ever got. Anything like that.
Oh, dude, every time I put it in a joint tube, like put up my ground up weed, it always dries out bad.
Oh, yeah. They don't seal very nice.
But these ones seal. But one of the cool things I loved about it and why I got it for him was you get your grinder and you grind it up on top, but it's got this like little door. Oh, and look at that Ghostbuster shit. And then all I do is I press this button and you've got all of this weed that just pours out to your heart's content, and it doubles as a vibrator.
Yeah. So,
this thing shakes like crazy.
Oh my God.
It's going to be pretty awkward if you put it on yourself, though. I'm just going to say. Because
on camera or like what? Just in general?
No, I'm going to leave that up to you.
Okay. So go check out the OnlyFans.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a link down there for Claudius Grinders. Pretty cool. Yeah. You can get it on Amazon, anywhere. It's fun. This has turned out to be one of my favorite grinders of all time. It was really cool. I came over for recording. Brandon's like, look. And I'm like, he's like, you got this. And I'm like, I've been secretly hoping to get another grinder.
Oh, hell yeah. There you go.
Because the other grinder was just like, I'm like, But I like the grind from this because it's not too fine, not too coarse. That's what I really like. I like it because I feel like I get more out of it.
It doesn't, and the thing I do like, this one doesn't do a keef collector, so it just, your keef is in your flower.
Yeah, and I do like that. I don't collect keef.
I mean, it does, but I don't really often feel like I go back and use it to go, oh, shoot, I need to use my keef.
Right.
And in fact, the green grinder at the bottom is stuck, and I think it's from how much keef is in there. And so I'm thinking I might have to soak it in like ISO or something in order to break it loose.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was like that one that I scraped out. Like it was a shitload of keef in there.
Yeah. Well, I figured the green one just is probably endless amounts of in there. Yep.
Even my other grinder that I had, like I love that grinder, but at the same time, I just wanted something that is less messy. And that's the one thing I like about
You feel like the other one's pretty messy?
Well, I sometimes I grind before I smoke, but sometimes I don't. I just want to grind and put into my tubes because I only need a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Or I'm putting in a vaporizer. But I've secretly wanted this one. And I was like, yeah. And I totally forgot that I got it for you.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It's fantastic.
oh, so
It's
been
great for
using it.
like certain styles of things. I love for using it for like even joints sometimes because you just put it, if you have a cone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That just fills it perfectly.
It's like the tube. It's the same little tiny.
It's like if you're really into joints, check out Banana Bros.
Oh, I do like Banana Bros. I love the Banana Bros grinder too.
I love their brand.
Yeah. It's cool style.
I still got that hat that has the
hell
secret
yeah.
compartment to put joints in.
Oh, that's funny.
That's hilarious.
That's way cool.
Yeah, we're going to bring that guy on, Nick Harris.
Oh,
that
yeah.
cool story of him
Mhm.
walking through that dangerous area in Chicago and
That'll be
marijuana
interesting.
saved his life.
Yeah.
But anyways, I wanted to talk about the quick thing on the strain because it's not a strain review today, but we're going to do a little experiment here. We got blueberry in here,
Yeah.
and it's old as shit.
Oh, wow.
It's old. It's really old.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a hit first so it doesn't get that way, but I am going to be pleasantly surprised because I keep my stuff very, very fresh for a very long time.
Very nicely sealed. Let's see. When the last time, I mean, it can't be the review because that was one of the first strains we ever did. So it must be new.
No, we had
blueberry
some.
from, we just didn't review it later.
Yeah.
So
but,
it must be from another time. Thankfully, this isn't from the start of the show because Jesus Christ, that would be old.
All right, we're gonna give a blessing. Good friend of mine in the Navy, he always used to do, the
Father,
blessing of the
Son,
crown.
and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, but he would say, "Habanus Nabisco Crisco asshole."
Yeah. What?
I know. Wasn't as bad as I thought. It's a little bitter. So I want to do this specifically because I've never really smoked old weed because you usually throw it out after a certain period of time, but it's not too harsh.
So here's the thing that happens with old weed. Time and
Is it gonna turn to CBN?
oxidation and that you get more of CBN or THCV. So you get more of sleepy time weed.
Fuck that.
If you have it for a long time. So that depends
Oh, dude,
on
I'm already feeling it kick in.
So it depends on, but it might not make you super sleepy. But it might. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
I'm just surprised that it's even make me feel anything, but I feel it already.
Honestly,
It's got a weird smell.
it does have a weird smell.
Like, look at that shit. It's still burning.
It's because it's dry as hell. Yeah. It's going to be burning straight till the bowl's gone. It's like
It's like a
chiefing over
fucking
there.
incense.
I know, dude. That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Smoke the whole bowl.
No. Let's get rid of it.
So did you do lots of service stuff growing up?
No.
Okay.
Not even close.
See, my family did in church.
Oh, big time.
And
Yeah, I'm not going to smoke anymore of that.
every Eagle Scout. So all the Eagle Scout projects, all of that, we did a lot of service stuff. And I don't know. It was when you're super young, you don't appreciate it. You don't feel the same. It's not the same.
No.
But definitely when I got I was 16 and I went to Mexico and did a service trip
Oh, yeah.
and just vibing away over there. And he's about to come, so
There we go.
all right.
Apologize.
No, it's funny. But honestly, that was I went down, and first I had spent months prior to, and we collected like school supplies and clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we went down to these orphanages down in Mexico, and we spent 2 or 3 different days because we went to multiple orphanages. And one of the orphanages was already clean, so we just gave them, supplies and hung out with the kids, played with kids, did all that. Um, and then one of the other ones, we went and we like cleaned it. We cleaned their orphanage. We scrubbed it down. We painted it. We, you know, helped clean their kitchen, do all of that. Brought them still school supplies and all this other stuff. And it was just, I always grew up thinking I was poor. Like, we were never rich because my mom was frugal as fuck. I just didn't know any better. But then when I went and saw like actual poverty, like real poverty.
Third world poverty is different from first world poverty.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It's first world poverty is tragic.
Yeah.
Third world poverty is horrific.
It was heartbreaking. And to see like the little kids go down and like their drinking water is also their bathing water is also like their cooking water. It's, and no life I ever knew or imagined or thought of. And I fell in love with that. I fell in love with like helping those kids and seeing, and yet they were so happy,
Yep.
like ecstatic. And, I didn't speak a ton of Spanish, but there was like one kid and they each were supposed to walk through the line and pick out like toys and clothes and school supplies and that. And he had gone and he's maybe like 6. And he's walking over with me and walking over in the field and that. And he's like, vámonos. And I walk with him and he's showing me out in the dirt hidden. He has a whole little pile of like clothes and that. But that he just had walked through. But he was like, come with me. He wanted to go again and go get more. And I'm like, I started bawling because it just, like, these little kids had nothing.
But they were so grateful for what they
And
had.
so grateful. And I thought about it. I'm like, man, all these times it have been like so selfish or just, oh, I don't have this or I don't have this. Or, growing up, we didn't have all the wants. We had our needs.
Yeah.
But it was all these things of like, oh man, I want this or I want this. Like, all my friends have this. I don't have this. Why can't I have this? And then truly seeing that none of that matters at all. Like, at all. And that was like one of the most impactful moments of my life. And yet I would go down and do that all the time if I could.
Well, dude, I'm glad you said that because actually I got a meeting tomorrow. I'm putting together a charity event to raise funds for these kids in Mexico that need a roof on their school and their house. It's just a ton of orphan kids down there. And the lady I got involved with 12 Shapes, she's a part of that organization. She built a home on the coast in Mazatlan to go and work with these kids. That's all she built it for.
Yeah.
So she is there probably 3 or 4 times out of the year for a good 2.
When is their trip? Do you know?
Well, no,
that's not your meeting to plan and talk.
Well, and that's the cool thing, that's the power of a power of Shapes is that I've leveraged who I am as a connector. And dude, I have put together a whole team that's ready to do this all pro bono, raise the money, and we're like, what's your goal? And she's like 7,000. I'm like, no. What's your goal?
Yeah.
She goes, our operations money we raise over the years only 100,000. I'm like, we can get more. And the thing is like, it's getting all these people together, like hearing that story, because we're gonna go down there.
Yeah.
And we're gonna build it with them. We're gonna change everything. I mean, $7,000 to get a decent roof on there
in Mexico is huge.
We're gonna go crazy. We're gonna go crazy getting them supplies, all sorts of stuff, right? And it's because of that. It's not because you want to do good. It's when you truly feel the impact of servitude.
But then it was like the connection. It was truly the people, and that's what I've loved. Is like everywhere I've gone is like when you truly go and to meet the people.
Yep.
Like, I hate to say it, Americans are fucking rude. We're like assholes when we go out everywhere else. We're frowned upon and looked down upon because we don't have manners. We don't.
No, but the American culture is extremely young, and everything is. We're teenagers.
Yes.
We're
teenagers running through their countries and that going, ah!
Which is super funny because all these other countries, like if you've gone there, visited them, talked to them about Americans, Yeah, they may not like that, but what they do admire,
Well, they
especially
love
Europeans,
America still.
they're just like, you guys are so inventive.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's because we haven't been stifled by an authoritarian government for so many. I mean, well,
yeah,
it's getting
in
there
ways, yeah.
in ways, but still, though, it's like really cool. And like you said, like marriage can be like that. But when you put yourself in a servitude position such as that, where even you don't speak the language very well, but even though you're down there, you knew everything that he was trying to say to you, and
Yeah,
you
you can
felt it.
communicate so much more,
Right. It's
even
like,
without understanding the language.
well, it's like that. What
It's like cannabis.
Well, exactly. And when people are talking like about like Neuralink, oh, it'd be so great if we could use telepathy.
Yeah.
But think about it. When you have a connection with somebody, you don't even need to say anything sometimes. You just know.
And honestly, for what major things could you not have a way to communicate with that person or figure out a way if you truly cared? But we're like, we live in a world of digital stuck on our phones and woe is me and what's going on in my
Mhm.
head because everyone's got this crap. You know, it's constantly going on in our minds and we're all battling mental health and all this other crap. And how many meds are we taking? And, am I even sleeping tonight because of what stress I'm under? Or, it's just what life looks like for so many now.
Yeah. No, and like you said about medications, like, yeah, people know, like, typically we weren't taking as many meds as a society 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Actually, more 30 years ago, we weren't taking them as much. When I was
80s
getting,
introduced a lot of,
yeah, but even then it was minimal compared to now.
oh,
Now
yeah,
it's like,
it's been crazy.
but you got to think about it in this aspect. We have automated our lives to a point where even the cars will drive themselves. Science fiction shit.
Yeah.
And we've automated our entertainment. You can watch the entire season of whatever on Netflix.
Well, so it's like you can work remote, so you could be at home.
Yep.
You can have your groceries delivered. You can have all your everything you need delivered. You don't even have to leave your house. You can do all your entertainment, all your stuff through social or playing games online because some people do that and they don't even leave their house. And it's like it's a really way different world that we live in than 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That did not exist.
It's so automated. Even your food is automated.
Yeah.
You show up to a place and within 5 to 10 minutes, you've got a full meal ready to eat and it's safe.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, hey, I want now. I don't want to wait. I don't want to cook. I don't want to do this. It's the convenience factor. We are all about convenience.
Oh, totally. We
Now.
are a convenience society.
Yeah.
But now think of it this way. Why shouldn't we be trying to automate our mental health if everything else in our life is automated?
Oh, yes. I think that would be a brilliant one. But how do you automate
We already have.
your mental health?
That's through medications, because typically what people do with automation is they're trying to have a convenience, right? They're trying to say, I don't want to do this because
The
you can do it
medications
faster.
haven't worked, though.
No. But a lot of medications do work. But also,
but not for the root cause.
No.
For
But
mental health.
Here's the automation part. People don't want to. They also want to automate their feelings, but they would rather eliminate it and just put it off to the side. Because a lot of the medications just do that. There's a dulling sense.
It doesn't address the root issue. It just helps them alleviate a symptom.
But again, it's the same thing. You're not supposed to take ibuprofen every day 3 times a day.
It'd be horrible.
Your guts will get destroyed.
You. Yeah.
This is the same thing that I think about these medications, is it starts to be able to be the only thing that can help you feel normal. And that's not okay over a long period of time. Everything has its place. Automation has its place, but then it breaks and it doesn't work as well as you wanted it to.
Yeah. Well, that's what I look at. Like, to me, a medication doesn't automate mental health because it doesn't actually address or fix it.
No, automating meaning the sense is I would like a convenience of not dealing with this.
Oh, yes.
That's automation. Automation, yeah, people go, it's to make things more efficient. No, it's not. It's to take something off of your plate. The advent of AI is the closest beginning, because it's going to be a long time, but it's the closest beginning to a science fiction utopia.
Yeah.
Where everything is done for you, every thought, every whim, and so you can focus on connection,
creativity,
art, and new technologies with no limits, because there is nothing to gain. We're all equal.
Yeah.
AI could do that, or it could kill us all. Who knows, right? You can go from either side.
I very much wonder about the primary though, or that because it's like even the discussions we've had going into Atlantis and stuff, and how that civilization was a way higher, consciousness civilization than where we were at.
Yeah, ancient Egyptians before Egyptians got there,
Yeah,
because those pyramids weren't built by them.
no, and then it was very similar to that. That it's like, okay, hey, this, your mind, or like, fuck, where was he going with that? Blueberries,
It's
making me feel a little special.
yeah, no, weird.
Um,
If you want to get Brandon really weird and high, just bring in some year-old
some
weed.
really old shit.
I'm like, no, I'm good. Because I already felt it. And I'm like, oh, if I go anymore, I'll go into dumb mode. But yeah, to go off of that though, that's why I said the automation of your mental health. Why shouldn't you, when your entire world around you is automated, instead of really working
On your mental health
on your
and
well
you.
you like getting into you, like what's pissing you off, because you're the only one that can piss you off. No one can do that to you. No one.
Yeah, mine is the control. I realized that when I was when we had that discussion with Bennett, and it was the realization of I am most frustrated when I'm driving, and I'm most frustrated when I'm driving because everyone else is doing shit that they shouldn't do, and
Or at
I
least you
can't
should. Yeah,
and I
exactly.
can't control that. It
Yep.
is out of my control, and that's why I'm pissed. Is because I'm like, if I could just go in and smack the shit out of everyone, go drive like you're fucking supposed to, then it wouldn't matter. But I can't. So instead,
You should get mad.
I'm just frustrated at all the other drivers and going like, why the fuck aren't you paying attention? Why are you doing this? Why aren't you using your blinker? Why are you cutting people off? Haven't you, like, there's simple things. You can drive aggressive and still drive like normal. You can still drive slow and drive normal. There's all these ways to do it and still drive, but people are so horrible behind the wheel that I get frustrated often. And I'm like, okay, I just need to chill. I
Yep.
need to learn that I don't need to control this entire situation right now. That doesn't fucking matter. None of that actually matters.
That's super healthy, man.
Am I fine? Am I okay right here? Yes. Okay. So I don't need to worry about where I could be or that if all of these drivers weren't driving like this is their first day. I just need to worry about where can I be right now. Right now I can be right here. So I'm just going to cruise here and worry about, I'm not stressed about what car's in front of this guy and what car's in front of that one and where they're going and how fast they're going. I'm just worried about who's right in front of me. Am I going faster than him? No. Okay, cool. Well, then I don't have to worry about me gaining on him. So I can just maintain my speed or and just, slow down if I need to.
Yeah.
Like there's these things that I'm like, okay, but again, it's just control. And I think it's because of how I grew up and everything was like it needed to be structured and this and this and this. And then, same with being a young dad. I realized all of my frustrations were because my kids weren't doing what I wanted. Okay,
Yep.
well, but was it necessary for them to do what I wanted? Or is it just because I felt like that's what they needed to do because that's how I was raised?
Yeah. And it is. It's the imprinting that you received when you were young that helps to dictate where you're going to go later on. And you can break a lot of these things. Like I've got a lot of things in my parents' past that were passed on to me that I'm not so excited about. But I've worked on those and I've been able to not necessarily eliminate, but augment. And it's being more aware of who you are, because ultimately that's what it comes down to. It when you're out there and you're in traffic and people are cutting you off and you're getting pissed off, you did exactly what you should do. It's like, look, am I really upset? It's okay. I should just let it go. I actually had an incident where I was like excited to get in a fight.
I could see that.
I was waiting at a stoplight for the turn signal and I was kind of zoning out, and it was green. It was a green to turn left, and I was
Okay.
like, "Oh." And I went like this.
Yeah.
Like, dumbass. The guy behind me in this Tesla was getting right on my ass. And I'm like, it's something that this guy, Richard Dimitri, that we'll have on, self-defense expert for over 30, 40 years. He's an amazing guy, still teaching to this day. But he would say, it's not always somebody looking to get you in a fight around that one. But the line that he had is that sometimes just a good guy having a bad day. and I need to let that go.
Yeah.
And that's what stopped me from braking and
Yeah.
then pulling over and fucking this guy up on the side of the road. But it was funny because as soon as we got over there, like to the side, because I always have my window down and it's hot as hell.
Yeah.
And I get to the other side. We're both at the stoplight, and I'm holding on my steering wheel with my hand out there. And I look over and I just mad dog this guy because he was looking all pissed and he wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
And then I start laughing. And he rolls down his window. I said, "Hey, sorry I was so long going through the light. I hope your day goes better." And he's like, "Oh, no, you're okay." And I'm like, "No, I'm sorry." And that was it.
Yeah.
It's like when people are like trying to cut me off in road, I just slow down. I can control that.
Yeah.
So I just slow down and I wave them in and they pull in and I go, "No problem. If I make a mistake, I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that because people are met with a positive energy, they usually just stop.
Yeah. Because it's like if you go up to someone and you're pissed and you're returned with like positive energy, are you going to be more willing to? Are you going to keep that energy, or are
Yeah.
you going to be like more? Oh, it's going to throw you off guard because you're going to expect a reaction coming back from yours.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that reaction, well, then it's a surprise of like, wait, why am I mad? What's going on? Like, why? There's nothing. There's no conflict here. I'm okay.
You're creating the conflict.
I'm okay. Like,
right.
you know,
We're taught like, and it kind of goes back to that whole idea of automating your life. You know, we tend to run away from those things that make us upset and anxious and all that stuff. But sometimes it's just being able to have that quick chat with yourself going, we're okay. Like
Yeah.
even money wise, like, you know, we've always been transparent with you guys and we've struggled. We struggled just like a lot of you are struggling right now. And some of you are not. Some of you have never had to struggle. And I think that's amazing. That's so
I love
cool.
that. Yeah. I think it's
I'm
great.
so excited, and that's the thing. It's just like we've got to figure out what's going on. But we've been in a funk with a lot of things in our personal life and trying to get past them. And recently, both of us have made a lot of new challenges that we've given ourselves. And I kind of wanted to go into that where you've started another podcast that is focused primarily on mental health.
Oh yeah. It will be. It is. I feel like, and the thing is, since actually sitting down, going, "Hey, this is what I'm doing."
Yeah.
It's been way more in my mind. Just thinking about mental health, just everything surrounding it.
Yeah.
Even like, so last night, my kids don't really sleep over. With cousins, maybe sometimes. Now and then, but only like very select people. And my youngest was like, "Hey, can I have a sleepover with my friend?" And I don't know this friend's parents. I don't know this friend's parents at all. And yeah, I wasn't okay with that. I was like, I have to meet their parents. I don't even know who they are. So I ended up going over last night and meeting their mom. And we ended up talking about like mental health and all this stuff. She grew up Mormon. She went to Timbuktu, and she does IS down with Emily's brother in Provo, actually.
Oh, cool.
And it was just like, oh, small world. But she's Buddhist now, and they did like her family, her and her kids did a mental health day in June, where it was just mental wellness, and they focused on mental health stuff. And
Yeah.
she just in the discussions, like the type of person she was, and I was impressed. But her focus was very much on mental health, mental wellness, like even the discussion and like our talks and that. It was really cool to hear her approach with like her kids
Yeah.
and her approach with them and their mental health and the things they work on and do as a family and like that they do. And I'm like, man, yeah, I need to be better. I need to be better with that with my kids. I need to be better with that on my own. Even like my meditations and doing actually regular meditation. And it's great to sit there and go, hey, I focus on my breath, or I did this. And yeah, but like, how much time did I allot myself? What did I even do for myself that time? Like, was it truly something that I was there going, hey, I'm doing this because I know the benefit and value that comes from this?
Totally.
Or am I checking a box because I'm checking a box?
Well, I see it very kind to like prayer,
Yeah.
right? Where,
That's what my mind thought of. Is like all these religious people who go to church to check the box just to appear, or
yeah,
like
I got to say
other
my
things.
morning
Yeah, and you're like,
prayer for meals,
yeah.
prayer before I
It's
go to
like, what am I
sleep.
doing this meditation for? Am I doing it because I go, hey,
I need to do it for 10 minutes today, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
yeah, or am I doing it because I go, hey, I know when I meditate and I actually try and focus, not only do I find more time, I find peace, I find happiness, I find that I can be present, I find that I reach out to more people. Like, it's way different
Yeah.
than if I'm just sitting there. Because otherwise, if I sit down and I'm like, I need to meditate, well, I'm meditating because I need to, or because I'm, well, then my mind's bouncing off thinking of all these
Right.
things, and I'm not actually meditating. I'm not gaining anything
No,
from
you're
it.
trying to force it.
Yes. And I'm there for the appearance or for the checkbox. And it's like, okay, but if I'm truly doing something, it's like going to the gym. If
Yeah.
you're there, are you there working out? Are you there taking selfies and like checking out,
Yeah,
like,
you're just trying to improve
yeah,
yourself.
checking through your Instagram and, what's a playlist I'm listening to today? And like, your focus isn't your workout. You're not there to actually work out.
No, you're just there to just
To
go
check
through
the
the
box. Hey, I
motions.
was at the gym today. I feel good.
Right.
Okay, cool. Well, did you truly gain value from it, or were
Yeah.
you just
What was your
there?
purpose? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I totally get that.
So it's being trying to find the intent, behind what I'm doing,
Yeah.
versus just living unintentionally.
That's a really good point. Living, instead of living intentionally, be intentional, right? Because that's very similar to what I've been trying to be able to do more too. With I have found great solace and great comfort in prayer, and not prayer the way that both of us were taught how prayer should be. There's like a sequential order, like call him by his name, be thankful for all these things, ask for blessings for others. If you
Yeah, it
have to
became
ask for
weird.
anything for yourself, ask at the end. But I have this conversation as when I need help, or and I'm really blunt with it, but I always say, like, what I do with my kids and everybody else, like, hey, I love you. I just want you to know that I love you. And it's not because I want to be like stand out about my faith or anything like that, but this helps me to feel okay. I get answers for myself because I'm removing these barriers of my ego, which stands in our way of making really good progress all the time. Ego's great. It can help you drive you to do
It can
things and
be,
be
yeah.
things, but it also can be really negative. And it's just like how you grew up in the church. I didn't grow up in the church. And, I was the kid that other people in the neighborhood are like, you can't play with that kid.
Yeah.
Like, they don't go to our church. And instead, it's like what you did right there, right? I like that, where instead of like, you were like, no, I don't know her parents, you can't go. You're like, I would love to meet her mom or her
Oh,
dad.
yeah.
Let's go do it. Yeah, I'll take you.
Because I'm like, if I truly, because I feel like I feel people's energy, I feel like who they
Yeah.
are, I read them sometimes. It's like going there and actually seeing who they are, talking, connecting with them. I can do that great. One on one, I can talk and connect with someone. And like, I love that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a big deal. And it's like, but then I have an understanding, and I felt okay with it. And I talked to her friends because I'm like, okay, are you guys sleeping over? Have you slept over here before? How do you guys feel with their parents? Do you feel safe? Do you feel okay? Like, because I wanted to know, like, I'm okay saying these questions. I'm okay asking these questions because at the end of the day,
You're concerned about your child.
yeah. But I also want to make sure, like, that they're still having fun, that the friends they're with are good, that they feel safe. Like, and it sucks, but sometimes parents just have to stand up and go, hey, I'm sorry, you can't do this.
I think a lot of it is just it's that fear that they're going to go ahead and do it anyways. But at the same time, I mean, the best way to be able to make a real good difference with your child is by being there and setting examples. And you
Oh yeah.
setting that
And
example.
have open, like, real conversations.
Yeah. Just be really open, be very honest with them. Don't try to hide it because you're trying to protect them. You're not protecting anybody.
I don't.
Like, I mean, unless your kid comes to you going,
Yeah.
how do you make meth?
Right.
No, okay,
That's
we're
when
not
I'd be
having this
like,
discussion.
why? What are you curious about making meth for?
I just talked one, my son. I watched Breaking Bad, and now I wanna make money for us. And I was like, oh, your intent's good, but no,
Yeah.
no.
There's many other ways that you can make money without making meth. So,
Yeah, exactly. But it's having a connection, and that's why like I'm really excited for the podcast you got coming out. Podcast is called
Happier Headspace.
Right. You can actually find it. It's got a really good intro. It explains how the podcast will work out a lot better than what we did for this one. But you guys keep listening to it. So, like, whatever. That's
Somehow
cool.
it's still here.
Yeah,
so.
it's always there. But honestly, it's really good. You'll be seeing that coming out here very soon.
Yeah.
He's been hard at work at being able to get lots of people on there. Still got a long list of people.
Yeah, I just struggled because the last few weeks have been rough. Between having a guest that was here that I was surprised and navigating, and I was recovering from my longboard accident, and then I got hit with like a flu thing, and I was feverish and down for the count for like 4 or 5 days. So I need to sit down, get some editing done, get some episodes out, and do some more recording.
So you guys will be seeing that.
that'll
I'm
be
also
coming out
working
soon.
on one.
Yeah. Jesse was supposed to have the link for when the last one dropped. Do we have a link yet?
No, we don't know when this is going to drop. It's pending on the book finishing. It's editing and getting ready to
So
go.
that'll be a bit then.
No, we're very close.
Yeah, but like a month or two. Like...
No. We're talking like towards the end of this month. We're expediting everything. Like the book, she's like the book has to come out with it. But no, I got into
it needs to be out simultaneously.
No, she would like to, because she would like to be able to get it to people to be able to go deeper into it. I've already read the book.
Into like the shapes or something.
Yeah, it basically what it is. It's like a manual for yourself on how to be able to guide each shape and understand other shapes. And the principle is that it's your personality and your behaviors follow a shape. It gives you like an ownership on it. Instead of you owning it, it's now a shape. And so it's easier in your mind to be able to go, okay, well, that's me. You identify easier with that instead of, I'm a Virgo. Like, what does that mean? Right. And it's like, oh, well, I do things like that because I'm a Virgo. And I'm like, I'm not going to read your horoscope. And then what? I'm going to know your future too, because some random person goes, what's going to happen to a Gemini today? You will fall down twice. Right.
Yeah.
But
it's always the randomness shit with those, I feel like.
Right.
But I don't know.
And I felt like that about a lot of behavioral tests, but this one changed me for the better. I'm happier than I've ever been, calmer than I've ever been, which is awesome. But the thing that I was just like, I want to be a part of this. So, I mean, no goal to like do anything with it other than become certified as a coach on that one. So I became a coach. But the coolest part is that the quiz, it just puts you into what it is. And I've fully accepted what I am. I've been watching other people, and now we created a podcast over there. We're at like, dude, we have so many episodes recorded.
That's good though.
We have 18 episodes recorded.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a lot.
It's a lot. And I'm like, okay. And she's just like, let's go.
26 is half a year. So
yeah, we're just pumping them out. And so while that's going, we've also been, I'm helping to create a business out of this. A really cool business to help other people. I've just seen it do miracles for me, miracles for couples, miracles for dating, which is super crazy. We talk about it on the podcast. The podcast is going to be called it's Getting Along with Other Humans, and it's in the how-to section. So a little play on words, right?
Yeah.
How to get along with other humans.
If there's a link by the time this is out, there'll be a link. If not, you'll just have to stay tuned for eventually there'll be a link.
No, there will. I'll make an announcement on there. You guys can check it out. You guys definitely have to go listen to Brandon's first, and then give him a rating on that one, just so we know where you're at.
And that's okay. We'll go. It'll be more out because right now it's just got a placeholder.
Yeah, I know, but I listened to it last night. I was super excited. It got there because I got a notification on Spotify saying you
That's
have
funny.
10 listens. And I'm like, oh, when did he drop that? So then I listened to it. I listened to it twice. I was like, dude, that's
that's funny.
awesome. You did a really good job.
Yeah, I set
really,
that
really
up
good job.
when I first, like 2 years ago. And I just left it there because I honestly was like, I can't do this. My
Yeah.
mental health went super bad, and I was like, no.
But what a great journey to be able to share with everybody else. And I like the idea you have with all the different individuals. It's not just like experts. It's just people who are struggling or
It's been interesting. I've had actually tons of people reaching out, like TED Talkers and all these other people.
No shit.
Ton, yeah.
Dude, that is
endless amounts.
awesome.
Life coaches, therapists, like people with just crazy stories of.
Dude, it's gonna be what you said it was gonna be. It's just gonna grow really fast. That's awesome, dude. I'm so excited.
So
Yeah.
I just got to do that. Get this going more. Get more cool people for the Sesh, and have some amazing conversations, cannabis infused conversations. So
Yeah, and I mean, we'll have the link down there for just to go listen to the intro on his. I don't have a link for mine, but I will put in the 12 Shapes quiz. Go in there, take the quiz. It's super short, and
Jesse's an octagon.
yeah, I'm an octagon.
I'm a squircle.
Squircle, yeah. You could be
I'm
you
a
have
circle.
octagon tricks, but you are a circle. And it's pretty cool, but it helps you to know yourself. It will read off as negative if you do read it that way, but it's just there's a lot more to it. So if you do it, select me as the coach, Jesse Angeles, but more importantly, select me so you don't get hit with this email marketing campaign they have set up currently. Send it to me, and if you're really curious about it, go ahead. You can DM me on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll send you the full report. No strings attached. I'll just send it to you.
Yeah.
Say, hey, check it out. This is the big
See
report.
if it makes sense to you.
It's pretty accurate. I would say it's about 90% accurate. I brought it to another coach, well-known coach. He took it, and he's like, this is like 98% accurate on everybody that I've told to take this. And I'm like, that's cool. For you, that's cool. And it's not a brag thing. It's just, it's amazing what it's done for me, what it's done for other people. This will be the next big thing in people science. It's huge. It's huge, getting a lot of recognition. But I'll tell you, I just think it's cool, man. And I want to give it to everybody. So you guys want to take it, go down below, just click on that and go nuts. Share it with everybody. Share it with people at work. It's just fun. It's just a fun thing to know.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't think we have anything special.
No, I think that was a great discussion, man.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everyone at home. Thanks for everyone who supports the show.
Oh, man.
For everyone who wants to help us get to like the Hall of Flowers and other cannabis events this year, you can go buy us a coffee down below and help Cannabis School.
Yeah, support the show.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that. But more importantly, we really appreciate you guys always listening and sharing this. We grew last year over 80%.
It was insane.
All from you guys.
Yeah.
100% you guys. So it was cool. I was in a dispensary here in Utah a little while ago. I was asking questions about terps. The girl's like, oh, I don't know. She kind of act like, meh.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, if you don't know a lot about that, you should listen to my podcast. And the girl next to her, she's like, I knew it was you.
That's funny.
She goes, I recognize you, but I didn't want to say anything. So I was like, that's
hilarious.
So funny.
When I was floating the river a couple weeks ago randomly, and this dude is like, I know you. You have like a blog or vlog. I know you. And then McLean, his girlfriend, she was talking to, I guess, her friends in cannabis, and they were like, I guess McLean was like, yeah, Kai just randomly brought up your name. I was like, oh, do you know Brandon Elder? And they were like, yeah, from Cannabis School. And they were like, yeah, it's like he's really good friends with McLean. And yeah, just that's small world.
It is a small
really
world.
Funny, like,
I think it's cool. If you guys ever have the chance to be able to meet us, just come up and say what's up.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously.
I don't know.
We might have a
Say
pen
hi.
on us or some flour.
Would we not have a pen? That would be weird.
I know. I don't think I go anywhere without it.
I was going to ask, do you ever go without a pen?
No.
I did the other day, but it was because I had taken a really large dab, and
I
I
thought you were
was
going to say a
gonna be.
really large dump. I took a really large dump, so you know what
So
that is. I got a
I
vape
don't
after.
need a pen. I left the pen at home because, well,
It was a huge dump.
no, just a big dab. And after I did that, I just was like, yeah, I'm only going to be gone for like an hour, so I think I'll be okay without a pen. So I left it at home.
It was not. That's why I got those 0.3 gram carts from
yeah.
Select
Uh-huh.
over at Curaleaf. I just really did not like my experience over at Curaleaf. I'm just not a fan.
Yeah, I went in there once
It's
recently
so
at the Lehigh
different.
one, and honestly, I'm big on relationship and how you're treated. And for me, I walked in and I was like, they had a big label, really cool looking thing on the wall. And I asked and I said, hey, can I take a picture of that?
No,
you can't. There's no camera. I'm like, well, what if I don't get any person, nothing in there? What if it's just that? No, you can't. Okay, well, I'm not even going to mention that I have the #1 cannabis podcast in the world. I'm not going to mention our social media, anything. I'm just going to go, I don't think I'm going to come back. I don't know if I'm going to bring my business back. I'm
not
actually
gonna
just go
recommend it to
back
anybody.
to my other places that I've gone that I've actually enjoyed the experience.
Yeah.
And I understand like HIPAA violations and things, and you can't have patients and that. 100%. Not asking for that. We've been in tons of dispensaries and been they've worked with us because it's like, oh yeah, no, just don't have anyone in your shot or make sure, only an employee. It just depends on the state and whatever the regulations are. We work within that. But I was just like, cool. All right, well, no harm, no foul. I won't tell you anything, and I'm just not going to come back here. So
It was like the last time I went to Cura, like when I was getting helped out over there, I was like, hey, I'm looking for like a sativa, little heady, more euphoric and fun.
Mhm.
I want a lot of limonene. I want a lot of linalool, but I also want a lot of like, if you can find it with pinene or with humulene. If humulene's in there, I'll really want that because humulene's like a real good heady high.
Yeah.
And she pulls up. There's no customer facing shit, which is awful.
Oh yeah.
Like it's all done on their computer and you don't get to see it.
You can't see their products either.
She turned it around. All she was showing me was a spreadsheet. This is what we got.
That's horrible.
Where did I go to? Fucking AutoZone?
Yeah.
That's what I would get at AutoZone. That's fine. This is what we got. Oh, I will take those. I'll take the Champions.
Yep.
For the Chrysler.
Yeah. That's literally it.
But when I go to Dragonfly,
I like their iPads. I like the interface. I like that there's products displayed across the glass.
I
do too.
One bad
I like
experience.
the people there.
They're so nice.
Very kind people. Yeah. Always happy.
Descriptive.
And if they don't, like you said, they don't know the answer, they'll go find someone who does.
Yeah. Quickly.
Yeah.
And their pharmacists are very, very knowledgeable. Not saying anything bad about the other pharmacists, but the pharmacists there are professional. And they know a lot about cannabis. I asked them a couple times. I'm like, hey, can you tell me a little bit more about this? He went into the terpenes. He went into the profiles of the percentages and what the possibilities of what I could feel. And I was like, this guy just knows his shit.
Yeah.
At Curaleaf, you know what I got?
Nothing.
I got to quit getting those 2 gram cards. I'm like, oh, yeah? You blinking it too much? He goes, maybe. But I always burn out the atomizer.
2 grams here?
Yeah. They sell 2 grams over at Cura.
Okay.
2 gram disties. But that's the same thing. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
You're
blinking your 2 gram, so you're not very smart with what you're doing. You're new to the experience, and you're getting disty.
Pharmacist. It was the pharmacist.
So you're telling me you don't have very good experience with the product. You don't know what products to get because clearly you're using disty, and I don't know. And that doesn't seem like a great recommendation. Probably.
What that tells me is that company doesn't spend enough time on their employees.
They're a big, large corporation that's nationwide.
Yep.
That's why Curaleaf has actually been a massive disappointment for Utah because it is just falling short of the experience that the others produce.
Yeah.
And provide. So
if you go to a place that gets those brands, I mean, one of them, support Dragonfly. Just grab any of their growth because they're just.
I guess comment below. Let us know.
If you're
Curaleaf's nationwide. So, have you guys had a Curaleaf experience that you've liked? Have you gone to a
Ooh.
Curaleaf? Or what has your experience been like around the nation if you've been to a Curaleaf?
Yeah. Have you been experiencing what D did, or do you guys have like awesome bud tenders at your Cura?
Yeah, because maybe it's just where we have them here. And, that can also be just we're new in the industry. So maybe we don't have a lot of education here surrounding cannabis.
But you would expect that going into a company with cannabis. Like when I went in there, it was a job for them. When I went yesterday to swing by Dragonfly, um, the girl behind the counter was new.
Okay.
I'm like, "Oh, you're new?" And she goes, "Yep, just made the switch in my life. I'm so excited."
Oh, cool.
And I'm like, "Really?" And she goes,
From
"Yep,
where?
cannabis is awesome." She was like a massage therapist doing well, but she's just like, she kept using more and more cannabis in her massages, and
Yeah.
people were like, So she's like, fine, I'm just going to get into the cannabis world.
Yeah.
And she's starting out as a bud tender, and she loves it. Like,
Interesting.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you love it because of your stipend? She goes, well, I don't get that until a certain period of time. I think it's like 30 or 60 days.
Okay.
And then they get their stipend. But even then, like, she's excited to be there. And she
That's
was
cool.
very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And that's what I respect. Knowledge
Yeah.
and kindness. And, if you've got we've been working on a bud tending course and trying to get it edited and stuff like that. And it's rough in some areas.
Well, and Omar's doing amazing. He's doing great editing. The problem is he sent me some stuff and then I got sick and
Yeah,
had
and I
that
got
guest
distracted.
so I was like, I need to go through and review those and
But
give
it's
him
also,
notes.
I've
So,
also thought about there's some things in there that I wish we would have gone into. There would have been a little bit there. It could be shorter in certain areas, just based on that. I think it'd be cool. There's some ideas I'll throw your way, but
yeah.
anyways, we got to let you guys go. You're
Yeah.
probably just pulling up to wherever you're going, and you're like, you guys shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Are you guys done yet? We are done. Slap us in the face. Leave us a review.